and start cutting. Flush here. Just tack welded the bottoms for now. I'm back in my humble workshop, and what you see me doing here is trying to make the door frame. It's actually 25 by 75 millimeter by 1.6 thick galvanized SHS, square hollow section. I mitered the top ends that you can see at the top there and used my monster clamps to keep them at 90 degrees. The bottom end I had to keep open, so if you like, it's a big U shape, upside down U shape, or a big N. I'm at the top of the N there. I had to brace the bottom bit with just a scrap piece of metal just to make sure that it didn't splay out, because the welding miters has the effect of, as the metal shrinks from the weld, it brings the two legs in, and it's amazing how much force that creates. Ideally, what I should have done is not clamped the bit of steel on top of the SHS. I should have put a batten of wood or a piece of steel in between them, because they did move a little bit. So that's a lesson learned, because the clamps actually, it seems that they can slide because of the forces. It was welded really well, and I beveled the miters so that the weld bead could be ground back to flush, and that way it wouldn't interfere with anything inside the truck when it came to gluing on extra surfaces like the insulation that would have to be done around the door frame. This took a lot longer than I thought it would take, but there you go. That's me being ultra fussy, trying to make sure everything's exactly within at least 1 or 2 millimeters, ready to place in the truck and get it mounted. I sped this up probably, I don't know how fast it was, but it's pretty fast, so that you wouldn't be bored to death watching me build it. And you can imagine I've got very little room in my workshop. That's about the limit. Where the camera is actually pretty much on the wall, and you can see the opposite wall, so it's very difficult to maneuver stuff in there and to keep it level at the same time. But still, I got it done. I was happy with it. It was relatively light but very strong because of the inherent character of SHS. It really is amazing. It's strong, and especially if it's welded properly. So, morning guys, another day. So I've made this frame up, and that's going to be my door aperture. Just braced it with a pipe there, and that's going to go, I've marked it already, right there where that line is. That'll fit right there, so it's going to fit just there. Flush here. And that's where it's going to go. And to get the old saw out and start cutting. Quite a lot of faffing about. I've managed to clamp it all in. I've tack welded it in, so you can see now we have a semblance of a door. Remember, that panel will be trimmed up to fit in here, and I'll leave a little bit at the top there which I'm going to use that plate that you can see there to rivet them on the inside, and then the outside I'm going to scallop it and fiberglass it. So I don't know how it's happened, but either the floor's not level, ceiling's not level. I was just about to weld it all up and then realised this measurement here down the bottom was more than this measurement, so the whole frame had to go that way. That leg down there came up, and my measurements were all correct, so something's not right. Either this upright is not straight, or the floor is kinked at some point there, or I inadvertently put it on something, which meant I ended up cutting 7mm extra in this joint here, which is not a big drama because I will be putting plates on here to grip that on and Sikaflex and rivet it to the inside fiberglass panel, which is 2mm thick, so it's quite strong. So you can see where I need a bit of extra there. Obviously that metal plate won't stay there. That's just to keep everything level on the other side. So I went with this, I had some of this left, which is 25 by 1.6 by 75, so it's not hugely thick, but it's plenty sturdy enough. It's already pretty solid. I've just tack welded the bottoms for now, and now I'm going to weld them fully, and that should be the door frame done, and hopefully it's rigid enough and strong enough. So I've got a little bit of this stuff left, so that can be cleaned up and trimmed to go at the top. And this is what's left of the massive door that was there. I think I'm literally going to be from about there to there, and that should fit perfectly in that gap. I'm going to get a fabricator to see if I can get more of these bent up. They're 18mm off the surface. I'm going to put some 25mm XPS boards, and I'm going to contact adhesive stick them to this white fiberglass, which will give me about 18 from 25, about 8mm, 7mm on top. Might go 30. If I go 30, my width of my box will be probably just under 2400, which is okay. I was hoping to stick to 2400. It's quite a wide box. It's 2500 in total. So if I 20mm of the honeycomb plus 30mm, that gives me 50mm. 50mm on both sides, take away from 2500. It's about 2400. So I might go with 30. That'll give me a good 12mm on top of this. But it doesn't really matter because this is riveted to the inside. So there isn't actually a thermal bridge. So the thickness on above this is not really critical. The only time it'll be critical is if and when behind the nose cone I'm thinking of putting an aircon unit, and I might have to put a steel plate on here and glue it on and then bolt through it for the aircon unit. If I do that, then it'd be important to get a little bit of meat on the XPS to stop the thermal bridging from the bolts. And I think, you know, everything's a compromise. This whole box is a compromise. I was going to make the whole thing out of composite panel, but it's just too expensive. Can't really afford it. I'm going to go out of budget. So hence why I'm trying to modify a pantec truck, which hopefully will be robust enough to go off-road in it. It's pretty solid. This is 3mm, this plate down here, and I'm going to through rivet these using like Chicago nuts and bring them all together to sandwich the panel between the outer one and the inner one. And yeah, I can't see it going anywhere. It'd be pretty bad news if it did. As for the ceiling, I'm still not sure how to do this. I'm probably going to make an aluminium frame that sits on top of all that, and over the other top of it, take this off, and then that aluminium frame, I might, if I can get it done quickly, it's going to be over $2,000, is to get a composite roof just made for it and have done with it, and use the aluminium frame, Sikaflex, and physically bond rivet it or nut and bolt job on top of this. I don't want to take this off. While I'm at it, I'm going to increase the height by about 150 mil. And that will give me good headroom, because I'm going to lose about 50 mil from the floor and about 50 mil from the roof. So I need another 100. I can just about touch the ceiling. Definitely can touch that. So it's definitely 2200 in here. Go another 100, and then maybe another 50, and that will keep us within the 3.7 meters range for total height. At the moment we're 3.550. So add another 150, that's 3.7. We'll see. Anyway, that's the next project. Let's get these walls built.